Hey, what's up everyone? Pixar's newest film, Turning Red, just released on Disney+, so let's review it. And real quick before jumping, as always, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And as always, be sure to share your thoughts on Turning Red down below in the comment section. Very, very curious to hear what all of you think about Turning Red. So anyways, jumping into the review, heading into this film, I wasn't super excited for it. And as always with Pixar, usually you don't really get excited for it until you're watching and you can really grasp what they're going for with each film. I would compare it to Luca, where Luca, I wasn't really looking forward to it, and then I ended up really enjoying Luca, and that wasn't quite the case with this one, as we'll get into. But I really do love Pixar, and they continue to pump out original animated films, and films that are also beautifully animated and just really touch on different topics, and I really appreciate that from Pixar. So jumping into the biggest positive coming out of this film for me was the animation. It is just very good, very well animated. It's very unique, as well as Pixar really continues to just really evolve their animation style to keep it interesting, keep it looking fresh and unique. Not many Pixar films are really animated the same, where they really look like they're from the same studio. Pixar really does a good job at just really diversifying their style and keep it interesting. And this one really goes for a more like cartoonish approach, and I really like that. And I like that they're going more that route. I didn't like with Soul, they go for this almost like photorealistic animation, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I like if it's animated, you'll keep it animated, keep it looking cartoony. This film goes that route, as all the characters look very cartoonish and stuff like that. I really liked the animation here, was really gorgeous. For me, that was the biggest standout of this film, as it is with most Pixar films. And another positive for this film is it's quite entertaining. It's only like 90 minutes long, and it really flows by nicely. The whole plot is structured very well, with a nice like 3-act formula, and overall it holds your attention as it should. So that was another positive for me, as I enjoyed my time I spent with this film. And then my issues are more like kind of middle of the road things. There's nothing I hated about this film. Just things I was a little kind of middle of the road on. So my first issue is really, I thought the story could be a little messy at times, particularly towards the back half of the film. The whole third act felt very rushed and kind of jumbled together. It just didn't quite work for me. Didn't really all come together in a satisfying way. So that was a little frustrating for me. It just kind of, the final act didn't live up to what I thought the strengths of this film were within the first hour or so of the film. And as well as I thought the whole story was pretty predictable. The story was pretty cliche. Obviously, the whole panda thing is pretty unique, with the main character becoming a panda and stuff like that. That's all pretty unique and stuff like that. But like, if you just remove all the like extracurriculars, if you just look at the story, it felt pretty generic, and certain aspects of it felt pretty predictable. There's certain things I saw coming a mile away in the film. So it was a little weak in terms of its story, I felt, unfortunately. Though I do applaud the kind of unique concept they have in this film. Another thing Pixar does really well is with these kind of unique ideas, in this one with the panda and everything like that. It was very unique and definitely kept this movie interesting. So yeah, my biggest issue with this film was with the story. And another issue is with the characters. I found the main group of characters to be pretty unlikable at times. They kind of do things. I think it's supposed to be like they're egotistical teenagers. I think that's what it's going for. But they just come off as very annoying, and very unlikable at times. There's times when the main character like completely like sells out her friends. There's a moment in the movie where she does that to like kind of side with her parents. And then she does it to the guy who works at the gas station towards the beginning of the movie, stuff like that. And then her friends I didn't find overly likable as well. I thought the strength of this movie was with the main character and her parents. I thought that was easily the strongest arc of this film, and that was pretty much explored mostly in the final act. It did work for the most part for me, but I just found the general main group of characters to be fairly unlikable. They're not like I didn't hate them, they're just at times they could be a little annoying when you're watching the movie. Another thing I wanted to touch on is this movie is quite clearly targeting a specific audience with teenage girls, and as you watch the film, you very much feel like this is a film intended for a certain type of audience, which is a little odd for Pixar. They're known for making their more broad appeal films, so this one's very much more of a niche demographic that they're going for, and that's not necessarily an issue for me. It's just it's certainly something that people have been talking about, and going into this film, if you're not part of that demographic, you might not feel quite involved with this film. So that might affect your experience with it, whether or not you're able to relate to the overall main arcs of the story. Alright, so like I said, overall, I think Turning Red is a very solid Pixar film. It's far from their best. In fact, I would probably put it among their weakest films, though. Pixar, I don't think, really has one terrible film. I generally enjoy all the Pixar films I've seen. So I would say it's pretty much in the middle. I do recommend you watch it. It's a good movie, and it's on Disney Plus. And it's really a harmless watch. It's not going to like offend anyone, I don't think. So I'm going to give Turning Red a 3 out of 5 and a 66%, right in the middle there. I think it's a fine film. It worked for what it was supposed to, but it didn't really exceed any of my expectations. It was about what I expected going into it. So anyways, that's going to do it for my review for Turning Red. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you stuck around to the end, if you want, you can follow me on Letterboxd and Twitter. Those links will be in the description. We can talk more movies there, and on Letterboxd I review every single movie I watch, so if you want to see more than just new movies, you can catch me on Letterboxd. Anyways, as always, thanks for watching, and have a great day.